President Obama has a chance to strike a dagger in the heart of conservatives, and his steadfast opposition in the Senate is lockstep solid in their aim to allow him nothing. Is there anyone who could make one side or the other blink? Welcome back the former federal prosecutor, author, and senior fellow at the National Review Institute, Andrew McCarthy. Andrew, pleasure to see you again. Let's talk strategy here for a minute, if we will, because we are told it is black and white. The Senate won't move, the president will do his duty, and they will meet and do absolutely nothing. Break that down. Is there any strategy that one side or the other is now working on to try and see if they can make something happen in their favor?
Well, from the Republican side, I think they have the advantage here, and why they would have any strategy other than, President Obama knock our socks off with a justice who is faithful to the Constitution, which is not going to happen. But my strategy, if I were a Republican, would be, look, you need to come to us and satisfy us with a candidate who is spectacular. And the president philosophically is not going to do that. So it's really on Obama to try to move them. And I think the way he will try to move them, because they have caved into most of what he's wanted to do, is to ratchet up public pressure and try to peel off some Republicans who, might be of a mind to say that, if the president's nominee is competent and has high ratings from the appropriate legal outfits like the American Bar Association, then the president should get his choice. Hopefully, there won't be enough of those Republicans. I would hope there wouldn't be any of them, but I would hope that there wouldn't be enough of them that it would be a threat to let Obama get somebody who could shift the court seismically onto the court.
Well, that's a good thing to talk about here, because as you mentioned and others have said as well, there's not one person I have spoken to, inside or outside the Beltway, that sees any reason why any Republican will step off this line. They are not going to move, period. And you think that's a good thing, because some people say that's a losing strategy for the Republicans.
Well, it's a winning strategy for the country. I'm not really particularly interested in the Republicans. And I think part of this, Ed, is that there's a misunderstanding about the importance of Justice Scalia. And I think you alluded to it in your remarks at the opening. It's not just that Scalia was a conservative justice. Scalia was committed to a constitutional framework, the framework of the founders, which is really the foundation of our country. And it's not so much that you need to have, at least from our point of view, an ideological conservative, as you need to have somebody who is faithful to the proposition that this is a self-determining republic, meaning we govern ourselves, we don't delegate the major decisions of our society to 9 unaccountable lawyers in black robes.
And how often does the American public actually get a chance to have a voice in a Supreme Court justice? That's the rarest part of what we're talking about here. So about a minute I have left. 2 names keep coming up. Loretta Lynch, the AG of the United States, keeps coming up, and Sri Srinivasan, who is in the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals. Do you see these as the 2 likely best candidates to come from the president's desk?
Well, I don't imagine that he would have better candidates than that, but I'd point out to people that Lynch, already in her confirmation hearing to become Attorney General, I don't know why she was confirmed. She said that she would support the president in his immigration lawlessness, and the Republicans, for whatever reason, confirmed her anyway. So, it's one thing to confirm someone as Attorney General for a president who's only got a couple of years left. It's quite another thing to give somebody a lifetime appointment.
This then is a chance for the Republicans basically to make good on a mistake?
Well, no, I think it's a chance for the Republicans to educate the public and make the Supreme Court an issue in the election. And, I hear a lot of people say we could lose the election, by this approach. I think that's wrong. But if we lose this election, I'm afraid that this vacancy on the Supreme Court is going to be the least of the problem.
I tend to agree as well, as do many others. Andrew McCarthy, always a pleasure, my friend. Thanks so much for joining us, for your insight. Now, this is going to be an election issue. As we just pointed out here, there is the possibility here that the American public gets a chance to elect a Supreme Court justice. What do? You listen to the candidates, and you're going to get a chance to do that right here on Newsmax coming up this weekend, because as we follow the candidates, we will bring you live coverage of the 2016 South Carolina primary this Saturday, 6:30 Eastern, 10 o'clock Eastern. Be here, because they're all going to be talking about it when these votes are cast. Stay with us. The Hardline will continue.